Okay, good morning for grade 10. So, for today's lesson po, we will be discussing lesson number 7, and that is about the rational zero theorem. Now, what is the rational zero theorem? And what is its difference between the integral zero theorem? So, before I start the discussion, let's go back again kay integral zero theorem. Now, di ba, grade 10, kay integral zero theorem, kailan lang daw pwedeng gamitin ang integral zero theorem? Kapag yung leading term or yung term na may pinakamataas na exponent, ano ang coefficient niya? Dapat daw ay, ang coefficient lang ay 1. So, ibig sabihin, kung yung function ay, ang term na, ang pinakamataas na exponent niya ay 4, so dapat kung ano yung term na yon, dapat walang number na katabi yung variable. For example, x raised to 4 lang siya or x raised to 5 lang siya. Then, sabi ka integral zero theorem, saan lang daw makukuha ang possible roots ng function? Diba? Doon lang daw makukuha sa factors ng constant term or yung term na walang variable. Tama po. Now, let's say for example, yung constant term ay 6. What are the possible roots ng function kung ang constant term ay positive 6? Diba? You have positive negative 1, positive negative 2, positive negative 3, positive negative 6. Saan ang galing yan? Kasi diba 1 times 6, 6. 2 times 3 is 6. Tama pa? Now, ano naman ang mangyayari kapag kay rational zero theorem? Now, sabi kay rational zero theorem, a rational number p over q, where q is not equal to 0, expressed in lowest term, is a zero of a polynomial function p of x only if p is a factor of the constant term a sub o and q is a factor of the leading coefficient. Take note, grade 10, sinabi po doon sa statement that yung p is a factor of the constant term. Let me erase that first. Again, sabi po, si P is a factor of the constant term, while Q is a factor of the leading coefficient. So, paano mas madali bang maiintindihan si rational zero theorem? Well, let's have examples. So, let's say for example, we have the function P of x is equal to 10x cubed minus 17x squared minus 7x plus 2. Now, ano yung pagkakaiba niya with the previous functions na pinapasolve ko? Okay, that is correct. Kung titingnan po natin yung first term or yung term na may pinakamataas na exponent ay meron ng katabing number. Diba? Kay integral zero theorem, walang number dapat dyan. Dapat kasi ay yung variable lang at yung exponent. Pero kay rational zero theorem gagamitin si rational zero theorem kapag yung first term ay may katabi ng number kayo nakikita. Maliwanag po. Okay, balik tayo dun sa definition kanina. Ano yung sabi ko definition kanina? P ay sa constant, yung walang variable. Q ay yung sa leading coefficient o yung nauunang term. So that means, in this example, factors ng 2, si P, factors ng 10, itong 10 lang, si Q. So let's list down first the factors of P. Ano ba yung value ng P? Ang P is positive 2. So what are the numbers na kapag pinag-multiply, the answer is positive 2. So since 2 is a prime number, di ba? Ang pwede lang namang i-multiply para maging 2 ay positive, negative 1, and positive, negative 2. Tama? Kasi positive 1 times positive 2, 2. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. So now, let's have Q. Ano ba yung Q natin? Q is 10. What are those numbers? So kapag pinag-multiply is 10. So we have positive, negative 1. O so, multiply yung 1 para maging 10. So, syempre, sa sarili niya. So, we have positive, negative 10. Pinag-ihiwalay ko po para naka-arrange yung numbers natin na pataas. Sunod, ano pa yung sunod number? Di ba? Positive, negative, 2. O, saan yung multiply yung 2 para maging 10? Sa 5. So, yan, positive, negative, 5. Meron pa ba? Wala na, di ba? Yan na lang. We have positive, negative 1, 2, 5, and 10. Now, di ba ang sabi dito kanina? It is a rational number denoted by P over Q. So that means kailangan nating i-pair yung bawat factor ng P sa bawat factor ng Q. So, ibahin ko po yung kulay ng pen para makita natin, ha? Alright, let's have the red one. So, for us to get the possible roots or yung mga possible numbers na gagamitin natin mamaya sa synthetic division, that is given by P over Q. Ipagpa-partner po natin bawat factors ng P sa bawat factors ng Q. So, we have the first one. Again, bawat factors ng P sa bawat factors ng Q. So, 1 divided by 1 obviously is positive, negative 1. Sunod, we have 1 divided by 2. So, fraction tayo. So, di ba we have positive, negative 1 over 2. Sunod, yung pangatlo naman. So, positive, negative 1 divided by 5. That is positive, negative 1/5. And lastly, yung pinakadulo, 1 divided by 10, so that is positive, negative 1 over 10. Next po, si 2 naman. Yung 2 naman ang ipapartner natin sa lahat ng factors ng Q. So, in this case, isipin natin, bawal na lang po mag-ulit ng factors. So, let's say for example, delete muna natin yung mga pula para makita nyo. Let me erase this first. Yan. Erase lang natin, ha, para mas madali. Yan. Okay na yan. Uy, eraser pa rin siya. Wait lang po. Okay, next. Tapos na tayo with positive, negative 1, ha. Dito naman. So, positive, negative 2 divided by 1. So, that is positive, negative 2. Then, positive, negative 2 or 2 divided by 2. The answer is 1. Ito na yung 1. So, hindi na kailangan isulat pa ulit yung 1. Sunod, 2 divided by 5. That is positive, negative 2/5. And lastly, 2 divided by 10, that is 2 over 10. Pero ano yung sabi kanina? Ano yung sabi dito kanina? Balik lang natin. Ano yung sabi dito kanina? It should be in lowest term. So dapat si 2 over 10 dito, kapag ni lowest term ay ano? So that is 1/5. May 1/5 na naman dito. So hindi natin kailangan isulat ulit yung 1/5. So we have the possible roots as positive, negative 1, positive, negative 1/2, positive, negative 1/5, positive, negative 1 over 10, positive, negative 2, and positive, negative 2/5. Medyo mahirap kasi puro fraction, di ba? Basta, ang technique ko lang po dito, grade 10, unahin nyo yung mga whole numbers. Then, itira nyo na lang yung fractions para hindi kayo mahirapan. Okay po, so doon muna tayo sa whole numbers, ha. So, dapat since tayo ay naka PowerPoint slideshow lang, so dapat po matatandaan nyo kung ano-ano yung mga possible roots natin, ha. Okay po. Okay po, next. Solve na tayo, di ba? May possible roots na tayo. Ano yung mga possible roots ulit natin? Susulat ko lang pa ha. So, the possible roots are, shortcut na lang po natin ha. Pwede naman po ganito yung pagsulat. Positive, negative, parenthesis. So, we have 1. What else? 1, 1/2, 1/5, 1/10, 2, and 2/5. Okay? So, next po, synthetic division na tayo. Trial and error na po. Sabi ko kanina, unahin natin yung mga fraction, yung mga whole numbers. So, unahin natin yung mga whole numbers. So, start tayo with positive 1. Okay? So, let's start tayo with positive 1. So, synthetic division. So, we have 10, negative 17, negative 7, 2. So, synthetic division tayo. So, bring down 10. 10 times 1 is 10. Negative 17 plus 10 will give you negative 7. Negative 7 times positive 1 is negative 7. Then obviously, ito ay magiging negative 14. And this will be not equal to 0. So, wag na natin ituloy. Huwag natin pahirapan yung sarili natin kasi alam naman natin hindi siya mag-0 sa dulo. So, hindi siya magiging tamang sagot. So, proceed tayo doon sa kabaliktaran. Negative 1. So, we have 10, negative 17, negative 7, 2. Synthetic division. So, bring down 10. 10 times negative 1 is negative 10. Tama? Then, add. So, this will be negative 27. Obviously, kahit i-multiply natin, this will be positive 27. This will be positive 20. So, hindi rin siya mag-0. So, huwag na rin natin tapusin. Next, pwede po kasi yung ganyan. Kung sigurado na kayo, kung nakikita nyo na hindi naman magiging 0 sa dulo, so, bakit nyo papapahirapan yung sarili, di ba? So, let's have positive 2. So, we have 2. Then, 10, negative 17, negative 7, positive 2. So, bring down 10. 10 times 2 is 20. Negative 17 plus 20 is positive 3. Tama? Then, 3 times 2 is 6. Negative 7 plus 6 is negative 1. And negative 1 times positive 2 is negative 2 plus negative 2 is 0. Now, since nag-0 tayo dito, walang remainder. Diba? Sabi kay factor theorem, kapag 0 ang magiging remainder, it is a factor. So, may isa na tayong sagot. Okay? So, may isa na tayong sagot. That is positive 2. May nakalimutan pala tayong gawin. And that is the Descartes rule of sign, 'di ba? So, Descartes rule of sign, ilan yung positive, ilan yung negative. Ilang beses ba nagpalit ng sign? So, this is 1. No change. Nagpalit uli. So, there are 2 times nagpalit. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong dalawang positive, then isang negative. Kasi, tatlo yung pinakamarami, 3 minus 2. So, may isang negative. May nakuha na tayong isang positive. So, isang positive, isang negative na lang yung nawawala. And obviously, wala na tayong whole number. So, let's try yung fractions. So, in this case, let's try si 1/5. Okay, let's try si 1/5. Positive 1/5 muna tayo kasi diba may isang positive pa tayo na kailangan. So, 1. So, lumilipat yung slides. So, we have 1/5. Then, ano na ang gagamitin natin na coefficients? Yun pa rin bang 10, negative 17, negative 7, at 2. Hindi na po. Since nag-0 na tayo kay positive 2. So, kung ano yung naging answer sa baba, yun na yung gagamitin. So, we have 10, 3, and negative 1. So, bring down 10. 10 times 1/5. So, 10 times 1 is 10 divided by 5 is 2. Then 3 plus 2 is 5. So then 5 times 1/5, 5 times 1 is 5 divided by 5, 1. Negative 1 plus 1, another 0. So that means si positive 1/5 is also a root. Again, ilan ba yung positive daw na root? Sabi ka Descartes' rule of sign, merong dalawa. Di ba meron na tayong nakuhang dalawa, yung positive 2 at positive 1/5. So, ang kailangan na lang natin ay si negative. Di ba? Next. Di ba? Ito ay remainder. Ito yung constant. And this is x. Di ba? Ibig sabihin, si 10 at si 5 ay pwede natin i-express na as 10x plus 5. Sunod, di ba? Since x na lang siya, equate sa 0. Lipat si 5 sa kabila. So, we will have 10 x is equal to, from positive, nilipat sa kabila, magiging negative. Then, divide by 10 para mawala si 10 sa tabi ni x. Cancel this out. So, x is equal to, is the answer negative 5/10? No, kasi in the lowest term, both numbers are divisible by 5. So, negative 5 divided by 5 is negative 1 over 10 divided by 5 is 2. So, we have negative 1/2. So, ano yung tatlong values ng x na nakuha natin? We have positive 2, 1/5, and negative 1/2. So again, the three values of x na nakuha natin or na nahanap natin kanina ay, delete ko lang po natin to ha. So again, the three values of x na nasolve po natin are, we have x is equal to positive 2, positive 1/5, and negative 1/2. So that means, kapag sinubstitute natin si 2 dito sa lahat ng x ng function na to, the answer will be 0. And the same process po, and the same answer na makukuha natin if we substitute 1/5 or negative 1/2 to all values of x of this polynomial function. So again, grade 10, ginagamit si rational zero theorem kapag may katabi ng number na nakikita nyo si term with the highest exponent or si first term. That is the first example. So let's have the second one. Ito, unahin muna natin si Descartes' rule of sign kasi lagi natin nakakalimutan si Descartes' rule of sign, or lagi kong nalilimutan si Descartes' rule of sign. So positive, negative, ilang beses nagpalit ng sign? Is 1. Then, hanggang dulo ay hindi na nagkaroon ng change. Since there are no changes na ng sign hanggang dulo, isang beses na nagpalit, so that means may isang positive root. Now, since ang highest exponent dito ay x cubed, so ibig sabihin meron siyang tatlong roots, and doon sa tatlong roots na yan, isa yung positive. So therefore, meron na lang 3 minus 1, meron tayong dalawang negative na roots. Okay, isang positive, dalawang negative. Now, let's have the possible roots. Again, P over Q. Lagyan ng over, wag PQ ha. P over Q. Bakit kasi pakinggan pag dire-diretso? So, we have, again, ang P ay yung constant. Q yung unang term. Wag po magkakapalit. Pag nagkapalit yan, patay tayo. So, again, factors ang P. Positive, negative 1, and positive, negative 5. Isa yun naman yung sa 5, di ba? Prime number yan. Si Q ay ganun din. Di ba? Kasi factors ng 5. Positive, negative 1, positive, negative 5. Then, ang susunod, divide. Partner tayo. So, 1 divided by 1 is positive, negative 1. 1 divided by 5, positive, negative 1/5. Again, saan ang galing si positive, negative 1/5? That is 1 divided by 5. Then lastly, 5 divided by 1. Si 5 naman, ipapartner natin sa lahat ng factors ng Q. 5 divided by 1 is positive, negative 5. And 5 divided by 5 is 1. So no need to write again 1. So therefore, the possible roots of this function ay si positive negative 1, positive negative 1/5, and positive negative 5. So let's try synthetic division. O, unahin muna natin yung mga whole numbers para mas madali. So try natin. Diba, isang positive lang naman. Malay mo, si positive 1 pala yun. So we have 5, negative 19, negative 29, negative 5. So bring down the first term, 5. 5 times 1 is 5. Negative 19 plus 5. This will be equal to, again, negative 19 plus 5 is negative 14. Negative 14 times 1 is negative 14, and obviously hindi siya mag-equal to 0 kasi this will be 3, carry up 1, 2, 3, negative 43. Malayo para maging 0, di ba? So, hindi nakatamang sagot si positive 1. Let's try negative 1. Malay mo, siyamba na tayo kay negative 1. So, 5, negative 19, negative 29, negative 5. So, bring down again 5. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. Negative 5. Negative 5 plus negative 19 is negative 24. Mukhang tatama tayo. Negative 24 times negative 1, both are negative. So, pag pinag-times, positive 24. Negative 29 plus 24 is negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 1. Negative times negative, positive 5. Negative 5 plus 5, 0. And since nag-0 tayo sa dulo, that means negative 1 is one of the correct answers. Maliwanag po. Next, let's try si positive 5 naman. Kasi nakuha ba natin negative isa. Kasi may isa pang positive, may isa pang negative. So, let's try positive 5. So, ano lang gagamitin? Yung bago na po. So, we have 5, negative 24, negative 5. So, we have bring down again 5. 5 times 5, 25. Negative 24 plus 25 is 1. 1 times 5, 5. Negative 5 plus 5, 0. So, na-tsempohan natin, no? Nag-0 dito, so positive 5 is one of the correct answers. Again, we have negative 1 and positive 5. Now, ito ay remainder. Ito yung constant. Ito ay si x. So, that means we will have 5x plus 1. And since x na lang to, so equates to 0. Lipat si positive 1 sa kabila, so we will have 5x minus is equal to negative 1. So, divide by 5, divide by 5. So, we have x is equal to negative 1/5. So, nakuha na natin yung tatlo, di ba? We have negative 1, negative 1/5 kasi dalawang negative daw, then positive 5. So, the final answer po for this function ay x is equal to, ano yung tatlo? We have negative 1, negative 1/5, and positive 5. So these are the values of x. These are the values of x po that will make the function be equal to 0. So, ito daw yung mga values ng x na kapag sinubstitute natin ay magiging equal sa 0. Okay po? Now, let's have the third and the last example. Okay, for this one, paki-pause po yung video, then try answering this on your notebook. Okay po? Paki-pause lang yung video, then after yung masagutan, continue watching the video, and then check whether we will have the same answer. Okay po? I'll post the recording first. Okay, what are your answers po? Okay, let's check whether we will have the same answer. So again, Let's have first the Descartes rule of sign. O dito na lang ako sa gilid magsusulat. So, positive, negative. Ilang beses ko ulit ang sign? Positive to positive, wala. Positive to negative, that is 1. The negative to negative, wala. So, that means, isang positive, and since tatlo to, 3 minus 1, so meron tayong dalawang negative values of x na hinahanap. So, let's have the possible roots first. So, p over q muna tayo. Ano ang value ng p? Again, p is the constant term. So, negative 1. Ano ba yung mga numbers? Na kapag pinag-multiply mo, ang sagot ay 1. So, the answer is 1. So, positive, negative, 1. Then q. Q is the factors ng constant, not the constant term, but of the leading coefficient. That is 3. Ito si q yung nasa unahan. O bawal magbaliktad ha. P ang constant, Q ang leading coefficient or yung first term. So, factors ng 3, we have positive, negative 1, and positive, negative 3. Meron pa ba iba? Wala na. Sunod, for us to get the possible roots, that is P over Q. Magpa-part na rin lahat ng factors ng P sa bawat factors ng Q. So, 1 divided by 1 is positive, negative 1. And 1 divided by 3 is positive, negative 1/3. Meron pa ba? Wala na, di ba? Napag-partner na natin bawat factor ng P sa bawat factors ng Q. 1 divided by 1 is 1. 1 divided by 3, 1/3. So, ito ang gagamitin natin sa synthetic division. Unahin natin ang whole numbers ulit. So, 1. Let's try positive 1 kasi kailangan natin ng isang positive na value ng x. So, we have 3, 1, negative 3, negative 1. So, we'll bring down 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. Negative 3 plus 4 is 1. And 1 times 1 is 1. Negative 1 plus 1. Mag-iba ng sign. So 0. Since nag-0 tayo dito, that means positive 1 is one of our correct answers. So next tayo. Try natin. Ito yung tulong ni Descartes sa rule of sign. Alam natin na isa lang ang positive na roots. So that means si positive 1/3 is not a correct answer na, di ba? At isa lang naman yung positive, di ba? Nakuha na natin, that is positive 1. Try naman natin, negative 1. So 3, 4, 1. Bring down 3. 3 times negative 1. Again 3, bring down 3. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 4 plus negative 3 is 1. And 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. 1 plus negative 1, 0. So, nakuha ulit natin yung isa pang negative. That is negative 1. So, again, etong 0 sa dulo is the remainder. So, that means si 1 ay si constant, si 3 ay si x. So, kapag nire-write natin yan ay 3x plus 1. So, since x na lang yan, ano yung gagawin na? Since x na lang, i-equate na lang kay 0. So, we have 3x plus 1 equals 0. Si 1 nilipat sa kabila. So, we have 3x is equal to negative 1. Then, para makuha si x, divide sa number na katabi ni x. And that is 3. Cancel out. X is equal to negative 1/3. Balikan natin. So, we have the values of x are positive 1, negative 1, and negative 1/3. So, x is equal to positive 1, negative 1, and negative 1/3. So, yan po yung magiging answers natin. That is the rational zero theorem. Again po, pagkakaiba ng integral zero theorem kay rational zero theorem. Kay integral zero theorem, ginagamit siya kapag ang first term ay walang variable, walang coefficient, walang number kayong nakikita. So, nakikita nyo lang, for example, dito ay x cube. So, sa integral zero theorem yan, makukuha ang possible roots based kay factors ni negative 1, factors ni constant term. Pero, kung ang given na function sa inyo ay may number sa unahan, in this case, katulad nito. O, di ba, the end agad? Katulad nito, di ba? Meron tayong ano ang leading coefficient natin? Di ba, meron tayong number dito which is 3. So, dyan papasok si rational zero theorem na ang possible roots ay galing sa bawat factors ng P na di-divide sa bawat factors ng Q, wherein P ay factors ni constant term at si Q ay factors ni leading coefficient. Maliwanag po ha, yan po ang pagkakaiba ng integral 0 kay rational zero theorem. Maliwanag po grade 10. Okay po, so that is lesson number 7. That is the rational zero theorem. Thank you po grade 10 and God bless the examination next week.